Good evening, everyone. I just want to go through a brief analysis of the platform that was released today by the NDP to kind of point out some issues with their statements, the lack of coherency with what they're saying to the actual facts. Today the NDP released kind of like a platform, and basically if you look at the things, they're talking about 2% increase to corporate taxes in year one of their mandate. So they're saying immediately they'll do what Alberta did, is put 2% hit the corporations right away. Well, there's a bunch of factors that you have to watch out when you do an increase right away. For example, companies have what we call as deferred income taxes. They'll make some adjustments. So that amount that you're seeing there is not necessarily going to be a true number that you actually see. It's overstated. Likely at best it's $2 billion. But the other thing that's missing in that calculation is there's no compensation for the drop in small business, and small business is likely in year one going to drop it by $2 billion. So I would say that their corporate tax rates that they're impacting from the impact is probably a good $2 billion over of what their estimates. So right away there's a credibility with the corporate tax number. The second number in there is the income tax splitting number, which is a family tax credit. Now, this goes to show you how narrow focused the NDP is. The family tax credit program replaces the non-refundable tax program, so that when you used to write off your children, which is $377 per children, is the net impact of basically of the non-refundable tax credit, it was being replaced with the family tax credit. Now, basically, Mulcair in his budget or intricate wisdom has reversed the $2.2 billion down out of his family tax costs. What he's failed to understand is the old system, just for the children deduction based on the center of policies and the alternative, basically calculates children deduction cost the Treasury about $1.5 billion. So right away, where's he coming up with these numbers? Because it doesn't even seem that he's even looked at the impact of the non-refundable system. And that's just the family. That doesn't include the parent or spouse that you might be able to claim or equivalent to marriage. So in that sense, that number should have been a push. He shouldn't be counting the $2.2 billion number in his calculation, because it would be a push by the old system. But for whatever intricate wisdom, Mr. Mulcair has ignored that. He's now brought in a 655 where he says helping families get ahead. Now, my only suspicions, what I think it is, it's probably to do with tax rates, because it hasn't been clear in his statement. So I would say that he's trying to reduce some tax. But 655 million is a drop in the bucket. It's really not a big number. The biggest numbers are the corporate tax and all that, and I don't believe there's validity in any of these numbers. So I think you need to question him in terms of the validity. The next thing he brings in is he talked big time about adding $3.6 billion to healthcare each year, saying that Harper has starved the system. Well, Mr. Mulcair has now decided that he's going to backpedal. He's going to say, I'm not going to put all that money in healthcare transfers now. I'm going to put some little bit into seniors and over time expand it. So in other words, he's playing a game with you guys. He's been lying to you all along that he can't deliver what he said he was going to do. He backpedaled. So, and that's what you're seeing with this stuff. The other thing too is he's got in here as well, he's basically talking about mental health today, which is again more money, but in most cases there is no transparency of this money going down to the provinces who run these programs. He's basically throwing money at the symptoms and not at the causes. The next thing he's got in there is a big number. It's $3 billion for infrastructure and jobs creation. So he's basically planning another $1.3 billion in infrastructure, and then he's planning a $1.5 billion over 4 years to municipalities. The other thing that I can gauge out of there is $200 million for innovation funds, but look at the narrow focus here. He's only focusing on two industries, aerospace and automotive. There's nothing there for resource management. There's nothing there for forestry. There's nothing there for food processing. There's nothing there for the other segments of the economy in terms of supporting exports. So if you look at this guy's plan, it is full of holes. So how this plan has any credibility is beyond my comprehension. I don't even know an economist that could look at these numbers, or anybody with a finance background would put any validity to anything this guy's saying as any credibility.